Graham, thanks for being here. And we're pouring the last three wines, so please make sure you taste them. But tell us about, Diamond Creek was one of the pioneers in single vineyard wines in Napa Valley back in the 60s when there was more of an estate model. And that continues to today. And tell us what we're tasting.
Yeah, thanks, Antonio. Thanks for the opportunity to be part of this and a really incredible group of vintners and winemakers. I'll jump right in on the vineyard since that's always central to Diamond Creek. Volcanic Hill, of course, part of the iconic trio of vineyards planted in the late 60s by Al Braunstein on this little contiguous 20-acre parcel on Diamond Mountain, along with Red Rock Terrace and Gravelly Meadow. All three always picked separately, vinified relatively similarly, and then bottled separately, with the goal of really showcasing exactly what's different about these special sites. To understand Volcanic Hill, I think there are, in the context both of Diamond Creek and Napa Valley, I think there are three really key points. The first being the southern exposure. So it's a broad south-facing slope, which is somewhat unusual on Diamond Mountain, since most of the mountain faces kind of north, northeast to east. You get a little bit more warmth, obviously, with the southern aspect. It's balanced though by the fact that of all the mountain people here, we're actually the lowest at only 600 feet. So we're both taking advantage of the cold nights lower down, and also the inversion layer, as Antonio mentioned. So we're well inside that band of fog on Volcanic Hill here, which for us comes in actually from the Sonoma side, from Russian River, rather than up the valley, down up from the bay, which is true for most of Napa Valley. The second point is the soil itself. So it's a really special, powdery, ashy, really light textured, super well drained soil that you would expect the roots to really go down deep into, but in fact the acidity is so high just a couple feet down that the roots just stop. And so the vines are under a great deal of stress, and you get the third point, which is that they need to be irrigated. It's the one part of Diamond Creek that receives regular irrigation, the rest of the vineyard being mostly dry farmed. But even with that weekly drink of water, these vines are putting out just tiny little berries, similar to what you've heard from other mountain growers and other great vineyards in the valley. Tiny berries, tiny clusters, super low yields, on average 1.5 to maybe 2 tons an acre for us. 2021 marked a new chapter for Diamond Creek. I'm jumping ahead here. After the Braunstein family met the Roosevelt family of Roederer back in the early 90s, and stayed in touch for decades, to where in 2020, when the Braunsteins were looking to sell, Champagne Louis Roederer became the new owners of Diamond Creek. In terms of changes that have been made since then, it's really focused on farming and viticulture. If you know Roederer, you know they're big proponents of organics and biodynamics. And so the work we've done is too much for 5 minutes, but certified organic and a lot of work on the soils and really looking to the next 50 years of the vineyard. On the winemaking side, it's really more traditional. Not that much has changed in 50 years. In the beginning, it was kind of 2-person hot tub sized redwood open tops, and we're still at the same size fermenter. It's stainless steel now, but relatively minimal, low intervention winemaking, which you can only get away with when you have really pristine grapes coming in, and you just don't need to do much. We still have the same crew we've had for decades that come in during harvest, help me out with sorting and pump overs. The wines are unfined, typically lightly filtered. We bottle on our old finicky Italian. We bottle very slowly on our old bottling line. As far as the wine in your glass, I think we always get the raw material for a really dense, powerful, concentrated wine. With those tiny berries and clusters. The challenge for us is really taming that power and keeping an element of finesse and elegance and beauty. So to that end, we've Made some minor tweaks in the winemaking, a little bit less oak, maybe picking a couple of days earlier, keeping a little more freshness, and backing off slightly on the extractions as well, a little cooler temperatures, a little bit less pumping and punching during fermentation. The biggest change in the winemaking has really been just tightening the selection on the single vineyards. Really just doubling down on what we see as the kind of the founding philosophy of Diamond Creek and this pursuit of the pure singularity of these special sites.
Thank you, Graham. That was great.